Hey, what's up guys, this is Sewell. Here we go, the second English video about a brand new commander, Leadership Philip. So I'm not going to read the skills, you guys can check on your own. So overall speaking, this commander in my opinion is like a half DPS, but half support, who seems can do everything, but eventually he could be somehow overrated. So first let's talk about the support ability. I mean the buff, that looks great, it's true. But you have to notice there's only 2 seconds duration. And if we want to compare with Trajan does skill damage increase and rage buff for 3 seconds. So to me, if Trajan has 10 out of 10, this commander to me probably is only like 7 out of 10. I mean the buff is good, it's just the duration is too short. Even though after maxing out, we have another 40% chance to proc the ultimate again. But I mean think about the gap between 2 ultis. You have like several normal attacks and other ulti going on. So somehow the gap between those 2 buffs is quite long. It's not even continuous. But on the other hand, if you think about Trajan, even if Trajan's skill damage increase buff sometimes doesn't land on any ulti, but still we have the rage buff, right, for 3 seconds. That is game changer. But this commander, I would say the support ability is very limited. Like 2 seconds buff, what can you expect? If it lands on your skills, you are lucky. If it doesn't, it's normal. And next we have his damage. The damage is obvious, it's just one random skill with 800 factor AoE. But besides that, all those other skills gives him really good stats and bonus. And combine his limited support ability as mentioned. So in my opinion, if you want to make a pairing with this commander, the other commander has to be like super OP in order to raise up the strength of this entire pair to a normal level. Just because literally Philip doesn't do any damage. I mean, not that much. So speaking of being super OP, what we're looking for is actually mechanics. Because Philip has already got some stats, so we don't need stats anymore. So mechanically wise OP, all I think is just Joan and Zhuge Liang. Joan, first round of skill, 2 ultis, but herself really lacks of stats and bonus. But I mean, you can imagine Joan pair with this commander. If you're lucky, like you can probably always throw ulti, right? And then Zhuge is the most OP commander in this game, who already had 30% skill damage on himself, all damage increase from the expertise skill. Not to mention, Zhuge has 2 AoE damage, and then plus 1 more from Philip. So to me, this pair looks really solid. Okay, primary or secondary? Technically, better be primary. Simply because that's the only way to guarantee your secondary have the doubled benefit from the Philip's ulti. Plus all secondary commander from other troops has chance to have the buff. However, if you put him on the secondary, so literally his buff has nothing to do with the first round of skill. Because by the time your Philip have ulti, the first round of skill is gone already. So if your Philip being secondary, just take the 35% all damage increase from second skill, okay? Don't think about the buff. But the thing about being primary, the problem is whether you have the proper gears to go. If you do have a specialized leadership gears, that could be amazing. But if you don't, technically being primary will lose some stats from the specialized gears. So troop wise, I suggest just go for only one type, go for the damage, and 20% marching speed is not slow at all. So for cavalry, you can pair in with Joan. For infantry, you can go with Liu Che or Ragnar. And then for archer, like mentioned, Zhuge Liang. All the other commanders I'm not mentioning, in my opinion, are just not OP enough. So we are looking for mechanic monsters. So last but not least, is it worthy to invest? I would say if you're a very strong player, like you already have everything, every commander, every meta pairs, then definitely you can go for it. Or here's a question mark for yourself. Is your single commander strong enough? Just check your Zhuge, check your Joan. Do you have a full set of wedge, all level 3 gears? If no, that means you are not strong enough. Because like I mentioned, this commander has to go with an OP commander. Otherwise, you are just replacing a march that originally can do some damage, but right now, you sacrifice the damage with the support ability. That's the idea. So as we're free to play a low spender, I would say just hold off, let people max out and test. Especially if you haven't finished, automatic commanders. Probably just skip this one. Yeah, I mean recently there are just 2 main commanders. We need go ahead big time. Okay, so that's it for today's video. Thank you for watching. Bye.
点赞加关注，感谢您的支持。